Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. This is Courtney, the marketing coordinator here at AIM. Today's webinar will be recorded and later posted on our website. This does mean that all attendees will be automatically muted so that we can get a quality recording. If you have any questions, feel free to type them into the chat box, and we'll try to answer them throughout the presentation. But if we're unable to get to all of them, we'll have a member of our marketing team reach out to you individually to make sure your questions get answered. Our newest agent resource, the 2-Minute Minute, is in full swing. Our marketing team is bringing you quick ways to talk to more prospects, write more business, and grow your agency. We're posting new videos every Monday and Wednesday, so go ahead and check out our social media pages, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube to see what you might have missed. Some of our episodes even reference exclusive offers, so you're going to want to check those out. So with that, I will go ahead and hand it over to Derek so that we can get started. Go ahead and take it away, Derek.
Hey everybody, this is Derek here with AIM. Today is going to be a great webinar. We got Nate Self from GILICO. He's going to be going over some of the different fixed index annuities, their WealthChoice, highlighting some different stuff, and it's going to be really important to kind of take some notes because right now is a really hot time for the entire annuity market, and it should stay that way for a little while, at least into the foreseeable future. With that, I'd like to say good morning, Nate. How's it going?
Good, Derek. How are you doing?
Doing good, living the dream. but perfect. Well, I'll go ahead and hand this over to you, and then I'll keep an eye on questions and kind of kick them over to you as they come through.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate the introduction. Again, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon if you're on the East Coast. My name is Nate Self, and I handle our relationship with American Independent Marketing, AIM, and they've been great partners to us. And we've definitely seen our business grow with them as our company grows as well. So today I'm going to be highlighting our flagship index annuity, where we're seeing flows, why, and how you can position it in your business to help your clients. So without further ado, we'll get started and get you familiarized with Guarantee Income Life if you're not familiar with us. We were founded back in 1926 as a family oriented organization. We just had our 97th birthday. We were founded down in Baton Rouge. We really weren't a big player in the marketplace until we were purchased in 2016 by our parent company, Couvert. At that time, we were doing $45 million in premium, which is not a lot at all. Fast forward to last year, we surpassed $1 billion in premium for the first time, and we're upgraded to an A- with AM Best. We launched a new agent commission enhancement and e-applications on our portal. So we're becoming a much larger player in the industry and have extremely competitive solutions. This year, we're targeting $2 billion in premium, making us one of the fastest growing carriers in the industry. And we do all of our distribution through marketing organizations. We know the partnership that we've had, and we will only continue to do business with marketing organizations that see the value in our contract. As I mentioned, we were upgraded to an A- by AM Best in October of last year. We've had 16 consecutive quarters of premium income and asset growth. Our solvency ratio is strong, as you can compare it against Thien, Allianz, you name it, we're probably going to be right there with them. And we're approved in 46 states. The 4 that we're not approved in: New York, Maine, Alaska, and Hawaii. If you're doing business in the state of New York, we do have cross-border sales available as well as for Maine. So if you have a client that lives in Maine or New York and you have an office in New Jersey, New Hampshire, they cross over the border and sign the business. We have a form that you can use, and as long as there's a reason to do business in that state, we are a great carrier for those cross-border sale opportunities. Now, getting to our WealthChoice, this is our flagship annuity. When we built it back in 2020, we wanted to design something for you to get more yeses than nos. Ultimately, that's probably the carrier you're going to partner with. Is I can put something in front of my client and it's going to increase the likelihood that they're going to move forward. So what we did is we stripped all the complexity out of most index annuities. So multiple vol control strategies, multiple duration, banding. So we don't have bands on our products at all. So all the premium is allocated the same way. We structure the product from a pricing standpoint in a way to use a constant option budget, which just leads to better renewal consistency. So you don't have to answer, why did my renewals drop? We also added liquidity immediately, 10% available right away after 30 days after issuance, just to remove that objection. The all-in true cost of the product, no more than 75 basis points. It cannot go above 75 basis points, and we don't have a benefit base for income, just to make it easy. And then lastly, if your clients do not need income, they think they need it up front and they turn it off, they have the opportunity to remove that rider down the road. So really great features and flexibility for the clients and ultimately for you to get more yeses than nos. So taking a look under the hood, some things that may stand out to you. We issue through age 90 on our 5 and our 7 year. We also do not have forced maturity until age 110, which is a huge benefit because 99.99% of the time, you're not going to face a forced annuitization, leading to a more tax efficient way to pass those assets. And when you're working with older clients, having older maturity ages is something you definitely need to look at. The 5 and 7 year are for straight accumulation, or if you want to take free withdrawals, 10% free, as I mentioned, right away. And we are modified single premium, meaning that you can add premium in the first contract year. Now, our 10 year is our #1 seller, which issues through age 80. It has an optional 5% cash bonus up front. It's true cash bonus. It's their client's dollars day one. You could take free withdrawals from that. There's no chargeback or bonus recapture to the client. It also is modified single premium. You can add premium. To get the bonus, you can add premium in the first 90 days. And this product also has the optional income rider. Now, what business we're seeing right now is strictly part accumulation business because the rates are so good that people are just taking free withdrawals and keeping the cost to zero on the product. On the screen is our updated rate for August. We have the highest S&P cap rate in the industry on A- or better paper at 12%. That's on our 10 year. Our 10 year with the 5% bonus is at 10.75. So there's a slight reduction. There's no fee for the bonus, but just a slight reduction in rate. But what you won't see a slight reduction in rate in the fixed rate. That fixed rate on all bands, 5, 7, 10, 10 year with the bonus, is at 5.25%. That is a phenomenal fixed rate on an index annuity. People are utilizing that to get through the first contract year, see where their applications are going to be next year. Just get them a great guaranteed return year one. You can also pair that with the bonus to get over 10%, which is another great strategy. The other thing that we just updated with the fixed rate is the fixed rate will not renew anywhere lower than 2.65%. That's the minimum guaranteed interest rate. So at all times, if you needed to, you could always reallocate to a 2.65% fixed rate, which is, again, a great thing that we added to make you get more yeses than nos, because that's certainly a concern on these index annuities that the fixed rate usually drops to the minimum over time. We have 3 other S&P strategies, a monthly, a par, as well as a cap, and then we have a Horizon Ascend index for diversification that looks at 8 different dividend-producing ETFs and targets a 5% volatility. So very streamlined strategies. They're all annual and easy for you to explain to a client. Now, as I mentioned, we have a constant option budget on the WealthChoice, which means we spend the same amount year 1 versus year 10. And this just leads to a higher likelihood that we have consistent renewal history. And thus far, in 3.5 years, we have not dropped an index strategy renewal on a client. The fixed rate will likely come down in year 2. However, the index strategies we've so far had perfect renewal history. Now, what affects renewals? Say the number one thing that affects renewals is cost of options, right? And if volatility spikes, that could be something that where we have to tweak it slightly, but we tend to buy bonds to match the duration of the contract. So if interest rates fluctuate, that shouldn't have as much of a change on the renewals as if volatility spikes. So that's just something to keep in mind, and how we're able to have these great renewals. So taking a look at some of our top positioning strategies, our number one seller is the 10-year with the bonus. So what people are doing is they're pairing that 5% bonus with a 5.25% fixed rate, giving them over a 10% return in year one, knowing that they can reallocate to a cap in year two if they need to, and that it will not go down below 2.65. So year one, you're guaranteed over 10%. Year two, you're guaranteed over 2.65%. So in 2 years, you're going to have at least a nearly 13% return. And you can't get that in any MYGA product. So utilizing a fixed strategy in an FIA has been working for many folks. Also, there's no underwriting on this. So if you have somebody that wants an enhanced death benefit, accumulation value is a death benefit. So you can give them over 10% in the first year, and you can use that as a death benefit play. Now, how else can you use a bonus? Well, you can use a bonus by looking through your book of business to see where your clients' renewals are at and see how we can help them. We have not seen rates this high in 18 years. And as Derek mentioned, there's not a better time for index annuity business. Now is the time. The Fed just raised rates 25 basis points last week, and the outlook is that may raise one more time, but we may see these rates start to go down. So now is the time to go through your book of business and leverage these great rates and bonus products to offset any surrender that you may find. So on our 10-year with the 5% bonus, we'll take up to a 7% surrender. So if you go through your book and you say, this client's at a 4% cap and a 1% fixed rate, as long as their surrender penalty is under 7%, we'll take that business, as long as the product is 2 years old and that they have $50,000 liquid. If you use any non-bonus version of WealthChoice, we'll take up to a 5% max surrender rule. We are seeing a tremendous amount of this business because of our very transparent suitability guidelines, as well as our great rates and the cash bonus that we offer on the WealthChoice. The other thing that we want to make sure everyone is aware of is, say you sold a index annuity with an income rider 8 years ago. They were going to defer 10 years and turn it on. But now during your review, you found out they no longer need the income. They turned on Social Security, they inherited some assets, and they no longer need to take the income. Some carriers will look at that and say, oh, there's a gap between their account value and their benefit base. That's too large for us to take the business. Our stance on that is, as long as the client is repurposing those dollars from income to accumulation, we do not look at a gap. So that is something to look at if you are going through your book of business for some opportunities. If you have questions on suitability guidelines or how to go through your book of business to really ramp up production for the second half of the year, my cell phone number will be at the end of the presentation. Feel free to call or text me. Now, why use the WealthChoice bonus instead of other higher bonus products out there? That's a very good question, right? We offer a 5% bonus. Why not go with a 10% or an 18% bonus? Well, for one, there's no fee for our bonus product or any of the allocations that you choose. Most bonus products that have a higher bonus, there is maybe a fee for either a strategy that you choose or to have that high of a bonus. Number two, we don't charge you back commissions before taking withdrawals even in the first year. That's extremely rare on a bonus FIA. It is a true cash bonus. So those dollars at 5%, if you put 100,000, will immediately credit $5,000 to the account. Those are the client's dollars day one. It's not a separate bucket, cash bucket that you have to vest over time. It's truly their dollars right away. The other one is that we have a constant option budget that we offer, and it leads to a higher consistency of renewal rates. And lastly, we have a commission program up to 1% additional compensation on all business throughout the year. So the second positioning strategy is great accumulation, but we also have an income rider that can be added up front. It's only 75 basis points. We issue it through age 80. It's on the 7 and 10 year. And there's a couple things that stand out about our income rider compared to our competition. Number one, you can remove it at any time, remove the fee, and say the client, no, 8 years down the road, they don't need the income, they can take that rider off and that fee will get removed. It's a true 75 basis points. Since we don't have a benefit base or roll up, it's a true account value fee. It will never go above 75 basis points. We also do not charge to add a spouse. So say you're working with a 65 and a 64-year-old, we will just pay out based on the youngest spouse's age. There will be no reduction or fee to add that spouse. You know how important it is to have joint income. And the last thing is it's very easy to explain to a client how it works. So it's always 10% of the client's age times the account value. So if you're working with a 64-year-old, there'll be a 6.4% payout on your account value. If you're working with a 72-year-old, it'll be 7.2% of your account value. There's no confusing payout factors or benefit bases that you have to explain. And the last sales concept is help the elderly. GILICO has valued this for our entirety, and we allow for you to issue an FIA through 90 and a MIGA through age 100. And we have very strong fixed strategies that appeal to these clients, including that 5.25% fixed rate, the 2.65 minimum guarantee on the index WealthChoice, as well as our MIGA products that are compounded daily interest that are up to 4.75% on our 5-year band. So when you are working with older clients, think GILICO for this business, as we're very easy to work with from a POA trust standpoint, and have incredible rates that appeal to these clientele. So it was a very short and sweet presentation, Derek, but I really wanted to leave time for questions. Our products are very straightforward, so I didn't need to get into the weeds by any means. So with that, I want to throw up my cell phone here. If you have questions on suitability, questions on replacement business, bonus business, questions on the rates or our history, feel free to call or text me here, or we can certainly open it up for questions.
Yeah, perfect. I'll start off with an easy one. I know you touched on it, but it looks like a few people who came later kind of missed it. They were asking what the client would have to invest to get that extra bonus.
So the 5% bonus you're talking about?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so they would just select the bonus rider on the application, and it's on our 10-year version. So you just go into the 10-year version of WealthChoice and elect the bonus rider. There's no fee for the bonus. It's just a slight reduction in the index strategy rates. The fixed rate is the same on the bonus version at 5.25.
Perfect. And then there's a couple people wondering a little bit about just who are you seeing as the primary target market to kind of go after for fixed index annuities?
Oh, it's number one right now is current current annuity clients, whether they're in a MIGA, whether they're in a VA or an indexed annuity. They're already familiar with how they typically work, but the rates are nowhere near what we can offer them now. So you can enhance their current product by simply going through your book, talking to them about how high interest rates are now and what we can offer them. And you have the bonuses to offset any surrender charges you may incur. It is a tremendous time to be going through that exercise, and we have the right solutions to do it. You got the bonus to offset it. You've got the high fixed rate at 5.25 to help offset any surrender charge. And then in year 2, you know that we priced the product correctly with the constant option budget. So if you ever need to reallocate, you certainly can in subsequent years. I would say it's not a specific segment or target market. It's go through and find existing annuity clients and upgrade their current offering to what GILICO or any other carrier can offer, because our rates are so much higher than when they purchased their annuity likely.
Perfect. And then as far as, so we have a lot of agents who are looking to kind of get into annuities for the first time. I mean, obviously besides talking to yourself or us here at AIM, which is always an option. We're always happy to help you guys out. But what would you, and I know this is a loaded question, so answer it as you will. But what would you kind of give them as far as advice, or where to start, with the process and what to start looking at and figuring out?
Yeah, I'd say keep it simple, right? If you're comfortable starting out talking about fixed rates, we're a phenomenal carrier to do that. We have very streamlined offerings. There's not a lot of bells and whistles. We offer a high fixed rate, 5.25, and then it will never go below 2.65. And at any point, you can always reallocate to the number one recognized index in the United States, which is the S&P 500, which has historically performed 80% of the time over the last 40 years. It's been positive. You could always reallocate to that. You can take 10% free out. So it's really just talking to the client about how good of a time it is right now, and providing that peace of mind that the money's protected, and we can guarantee you a high rate in the first year with the ability to reallocate if needed in subsequent years.
And that kind of leads me into a question, especially along those keep it simple lines. So what, and you've answered this many times throughout the presentation, but keeping it simple for our agents, what would kind of be your 10 or 30-second elevator speech to a new or potential client or someone you've had that you're trying to bring over to GILICO, right? I mean, some of it's pretty self-explanatory, but what would you kind of pitch it as, just to get them to bite?
Yeah, so we don't have the highest brand recognition, but we are a tremendous stewards of our own capital. We do 70% of our own investment management in-house. A lot of carriers, they use a third-party asset manager to do their asset management, and that why doing it in-house is important is because we can lead that to cost savings for the client. We need to have the higher rates, the better renewal history, and it's the track record, right? We have perfect renewal history thus far, and we have the highest rates in the industry, and that's only because we're tremendous stewards of our own capital, and we can manage our expenses accordingly. I would say that's GILICO's expertise right there in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's great points. I mean, like you're saying, it's really important that you guys do keep a lot of that in-house and pass that savings on to the actual clients, right?
Yeah. That's what matters, right? It's the outcome of the client. It's not the outcome of us or the advisor. We're all in this for the client. So how can we make sure that their outcome is better than any other carrier? And that's being good stewards of capital.
Perfect. Well, I want to say, thank you so much for coming on here and telling us a bit about yourself and your company and your products. There are a few more questions. Don't think I forgot about you guys. We'll be reaching out. Some of those are a little more specific, just to one person. So we'll reach out to you and get those. Thank you again for being here, Nate. Really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on, and I wish everyone on the call a great rest of your day.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. And like I said, everyone, we'll be reaching out. Feel free to call in if you're getting a little antsy, but wish everybody a great day, and we'll be back soon.